What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin coming back to you with another NBA topic. Then I have one big question, and I'm gonna get my thoughts on what exactly I think about it. Should the NBA do away with conferences? As you well know, the Western Conference has been really dominant. Um, the just this year, don't have that record pulled up. I had it earlier, but couldn't find it. Of interconference play, and the Western Conference has completely owned the Eastern Conference in terms of head to head. Now, if you look at overall record, it has gotten it's ridiculous. I can pull the record up right now of each team currently now, who each record from 1 to 8 in both conferences. And I'm gonna start with the Western Conference first. Number one is the Golden State Warriors at 15-2. Number two, the Memphis Grizzlies at 15-3. Number three, the Portland Trail Blazers at 14-4. Number four, Houston Rockets also at 14-4. Number five, the Dallas Mavericks at 15-5. Number six, the San Antonio Spurs at 13-5. Number seven, the LA Clippers at 12-5. And number eight, the Phoenix Suns at 11-8. All winning records. All if you look at 1 through 7, all have lost either 5 games or less. It's incredible. Teams that's right outside the playoffs. Denver at 9-9. Sacramento at 9-9, and New Orleans at 8-8. So you have 11 teams, possibly competing for the playoffs. Definitely want to see how that turns out. That's crazy. Before I give my opinion on that, I'm gonna go over the Eastern Conference. Toronto's at 15-4. That number one. Washington. Number two at 12-5. Atlanta Hawks is 3 at 11-6. Chicago Bulls 4 at 12-7. Cleveland at 9-7 is 5. Milwaukee Bucks at 10-10. The Miami Heat at 9-9, and the Brooklyn Nets at 8-9, the 8th seed with a losing record. Obviously, just looking at these records, you can see, the superiority of these Western Conference teams. And I didn't even bring up Oklahoma City, who had a bunch of injuries starting the season. Last night got KD back. Westbrook came back a few games ago. They're gonna move up. They're gonna go on a winning streak. You can definitely expect that they're gonna go on a winning streak, and they're probably going to be fighting for the playoffs as well. So, you look at it, you have just about 12 teams in that Western Conference that's, that can legitimately compete for a playoff spot. In the East, obviously the team's going to be competing for a playoff spot, but what I'm saying is, you have, I want to say, I can cut that down a little bit. You have at least 7 teams in that Western Conference that can compete for a championship, and that you think will be deserving of getting a championship. In the East, not so much. That Toronto team is playing good. DeRozan got hurt. The Bulls, they had some injuries. Wizards are a good team. I really like what they've been bringing. Cleveland's still trying to get into the groove of things and get some chemistry. Of course, a lot of new pieces on that team. Other than that, to me, the rest of those teams I really don't see as contenders, to be honest. In the grand scheme of things, they may be playing well early on in the season. When you get into the playoffs, man, I just don't. You're gonna see a lot of lopsided series in the Eastern Conference. Honestly, that top 4 teams against that bottom four teams. You're gonna see a lot of lopsided victories, and the West is gonna be damn close though. You know that for sure. The West is always gonna be super competitive, and it's like that every single year. The West, these guys beat the shit out of each other, and you get some great series out of that. In the East, not so much. The series lack the excitement. The games are not as close, and obviously the series don't go on as long. Look at all the series that went on 7 games in the Western Conference. Case in point. I believe it was Mark Cuban who proposed something that he will want to move the 3 Texas teams and New Orleans Pelicans over to the East and move the Bulls, Pacers, the Bucks, and the Pistons, I believe, over to the Western Conference. Now, in theory that could work, but there's so many other things that go into it. Time zone change. If you're in the Western Conference, you're gonna play Western Conference teams more often, so your games are gonna be later. So for a team and the fans that used to being in Eastern, playing at a specific time zone earlier in the day, that could be a problem. Travel times and all that could be travel distance could also be a problem. That's just talking about it from how the players and coaches would look at it. As a fan, I just want to see the best games they can put on TV possible. I want to see teams that deserve to make the playoffs. I want to see longer series in the playoffs, and I don't want to see teams like the Brooklyn Nets, who currently have a losing record, or the Milwaukee Bucks, who are, I believe, 10-10. I don't want to see teams like that in the playoffs, because they get in the playoffs, and they get destroyed because they were a team because by default, by being in the Eastern Conference, they could essentially skate by and make the playoffs. There have been proposals of just doing away with the whole conference things. It could be a possibility. Now, I don't know exactly how they plan on doing that. They say there are talks about it, but I seriously doubt that anything serious is even coming about in any of these meetings. My opinion, if it will give us better games, hell yeah, do away with it. You won't have shit teams making the playoffs. You're actually going to have to fight to get in the playoffs, just like those Western Conference teams are fighting to move up and down seeds. When you drop a game in that Western Conference, you will get your ass moved down the seed. You look back at it, you're 4, and look back at it, you're 7. That's how it works. It's not the East. You get a top 3 seed, you probably no other team in the 4 through 8 probably won't pass you. But it is much different in that Western Conference. But without getting into any specifics, I just want to give my opinion on what I thought. I'm gonna have the article down below. I believe it was the website's called Grantland. I'm gonna have that link down in the to that article down in the comment section. It's a little bit outdated because they had the interconference records between the West and the East, and I believe it's a little bit different. The article was done a couple weeks ago, I believe. Let me check the date on that article. Okay, never mind. The article was done yesterday, so it's pretty up to date. Leave out a few games, but it's pretty up to date. Check it out. Let me know what you think, and also about my question: should the NBA do away with conferences, or should they rebalance them? Still keep conferences, but should they rebalance them? Move teams from the West to the East and move teams from the East to the West. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Of course, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.